Rob, I see you in the comments section. Just confirm if you can hear me. I'm having some audio problems. I have no game sound. Okay, and there we go. Sorry about that. Was just having one or two audio issues, but we are finally live with 14 minutes remaining in Q1. Thank you for joining us, those that are watching. This is JPR Season 7, Round 4, and we are in Las Vegas for the first time. Get to race in Las Vegas before the F1 drivers do. They'll be there later on in November. Sure, a lot of practicing has taken place during this week. New circuit. It's going to be an interesting one to watch. Lots of potential slipstreams. Top Gun goes fastest for now, 133.7. Wezo second, 134.7. MJ third. Apmagozi fourth. Those are the only drivers to have set a lap time. Apmagozi went out on intermediates. Maybe trying to save an extra set of tires for the latter stages of qualifying. Obviously we don't have any stats on this circuit, nothing to go by. So all we have are estimates. Estimated top speed in Las Vegas, 342 kilometers an hour. If you're in the comment section and you go faster than that, let me know. Some drivers saying they only got 7 laps of practice in before the race, so should be an interesting one. Some people gonna still trying to come to terms with the circuit, come to terms with the layout. This is Shane, just off the podium in the last race, finished 4th. That last race was obviously Hungary. Last week when we attempted to do Spa, it had to be rescheduled due to issues. So last official result is round 3 Hungary. Magozi retires from the session. He's happy with his lap time. Needs to be careful. He is on a set of inters, so if the other drivers on inters throw on a set of softs, he's surely going to be out. For the time being, we have an Alpine 1-2. I'm sure they'd love it if things remained that way. Another viewer joining, thanks for joining us. See, quite a few drivers have already called it quits on Q1. Happy with that, happy with their lap times. Ooh, not sure what happened there. Now we have pantry start. Entry star yet to set a lap time. He is on a set of softs and going for that fast lap now. This is your round 3 race winner. Such a fast final corner, really got to commit to the corner, and he does. Good lap there, 134.0. It's good enough for second place for the time being, 3/10 away from Top Gun. This is the second of the Aston Martins, currently 8/10 away from his teammate. Destroyer in the only Alfa Romeo tonight, looking for his first lap, but he's definitely not going to be setting the timesheets alight because he's doing that lap on a set of intermediates. We join RZDV as he's in a very unfortunate position. It seems like he's gone down an escape road or found himself on the wrong side of a runoff area, but now he needs to get himself turned around and get himself back going without getting disqualified. It's the last thing you want. Seems like he's on his way again. Pantry Star surely on an in-lap. Staffy in the pits as is MJ. Pampun on an in-lap. Destroyer on an in-lap. Not too much to commentate on for the time being. Guys are on their in laps or sitting in the pits. Obviously just the 16 starters, which means at the end of Q1 here we will only lose the one driver. If things were to remain exactly the same as they are now, that would be Dan Rietveld. He would be knocked out in Q1, and he will be knocked out in Q1 because he's done for the session. His name's grayed out. Destroyer on an in-lap. And RZDV is going to get all of the attention because everyone else is sitting in the pits and he's about to start a fast lap. Turn 1, a tight left-hander. In some ways reminds me of Singapore almost. Pantry Star now also leaving the session. Just 3 drivers remain in the session. That is Staffy, Destroyer, and this man here, RZDV, still trying to put a lap in. So important to get the car slowed down and turned in well into that corner, because what comes next is an insanely long straight. It's the end of sector 2 and he's gone purple very nicely down. Now you've got a tight little chicane. Goes into that final corner, which is full commitment, full throttle. And there we go, fastest in Q1. Look at that. I was confused for a second. It said purple and he was in second. Well, those are identical lap times. First and second, 1 minute 33.7. Where time disappeared from my screen. But what was that? A 1 minute 33.737. 27. Identical lap times. There we go. RCDV does get it in the end by a thousandth of a second. That's not what our timing screen said, but 1,000th of a second. That's the bragging rights. Top Gun second, Pantry third. Those are your top three, and then not going through to Q2 is Dan Rietveld in the McLaren. That's right, in the McLaren. And welcome back after that short break. We're at Q2, 15-minute session, slightly shorter than Q1. 13 drivers, so a few more drivers than expected getting eliminated there from Q1. Not sure if there were retirements, but just the 13 drivers in Q2, meaning 3 drivers will be eliminated in the next 14 and a half minutes. No one out on track as of yet. 6.1 kilometer circuit, one of the longest circuits on the calendar. I can't confirm this, but I'm pretty sure longest straight in F1, or at least close to it. Nostromo retiring from the session. He will be one of the drivers eliminated at the end of Q2, so just 2 drivers at risk. Top Gun is on an outlap, RZDV on an outlap, as is his teammate Ap Magozi. Everyone else remains in the pits for now. As I say that, Aston Martin releasing both drivers, Pantry Star and now Staffy, both on an outlap. Timing screens will come to life in just a few minutes from now. Sure, we're going to get a lot more action, a lot more running in this session than we did in the last. 2 places are at play here. Need to be in that top 10 in order to be able to have a go at pole position. No one on a fast lap just yet. A lot of cars on outlaps. Obviously, like I said earlier, 6.1 kilometer circuit, 17 corners, 3 straights, 2 of which have DRS zones. Seems like RZDV is going to be the first one to start a fast lap. Top Gun also on a fast lap, as is Ap Magozi, and as is Pantry Star. Now the second Alfa Romeo starts his fast lap. Sorry, that's not an Alfa Romeo, that's an Aston Martin. Too many teams starting with an A. That'll no longer be the case next season because Alpha Tauri and Alfa Romeo will disappear. Shane and MJ both on outlaps. Red Bulls maybe looking at a potential slipstream. I think a slipstream around this track is going to be extremely powerful. First lap times now lighting up the screen. Pantry Star goes fastest with a 1:32.9, quickest time we've seen all night. Top Gun second, RZDV backing off now. Top Gun second, 1:33.4, RZDV 1:33.5, and then we have a bit of a drop off to Staffy with the 1:36.2 in fourth place, and Apmagozi 1:36.7 in fifth. Everyone else, we're still waiting for a lap time from them. DRS Wezo, he's out on circuit, as is Pampun Destroyer, Shane, Rota, and MJ. Busy circuit. Good lap for Wezo, it's good enough for fifth place, 1:34.0. But it's 1.1 seconds, and as I say that, 1.5 seconds off provisional pole. Shane takes that provisional pole away. Now the second Red Bull's going to go over the line. This is to start a fast lap. Not sure if he invalidated the last, but no lap time coming up there for MJ. Rota and Pampun also looking for their first lap times of Q2. Pampun now heading down that long back straight into this tricky double chicane, into the second long back straight, and I absolutely love this left-hander. Really have to commit, and it's good enough for fifth, 1:33.6. Still waiting for lap times from DRS Rota, and as I say that, he goes over the line at 1:33.8, good enough for seventh place. Nostromo and Venom have retired from the session, so only one driver at risk, and at the moment that driver is the second Red Bull. Fantastic team play here, nice to see, great slipstream there. Just needs to make sure he gets this tricky section here, make sure he doesn't waste all of that. There we go, nicely done. See what he can come up with. That slipstream strong enough to get him into Q3. MJ goes over the line, and it is good enough to get him into Q3. 1:35.2. Nicely done. Just over 7.5 minutes remaining on the in the session. The only driver at risk at the moment is Apmagozi. He's in 11th place. 12th and 13th have retired from the session. So just that one car at risk. But Apmagozi is going to have to find 1.5 seconds to get him into Q3. But for now, MJ will be happy with that. Quiet track at the moment. It seems like everyone's finding their way back to the pits. So some really big gaps between these drivers. We've seen some really close qualifying sessions, but so far that is not the case today. 2.6 seconds covers your top 10. Destroyer improves and goes fourth. The only driver still out on track besides Destroyer is MJ, but he's having a in-lap. Everyone pretty much in the pits or on an in-lap. The only man on an out-lap is Afmagozi. Your second Mercedes-Benz tonight, currently in 11th place on an out-lap. He's going to have to find 1.5 seconds if he wants to get himself into Q3. Now Akmagozi starts his fast lap. Just over 5 minutes remaining. This is a pretty long lap, so out lap, fast lap, in lap. This will be his final attempt. Currently in 11th place, needs to find 1.5 seconds on the final lap if he's going to get himself into Q3. And as much as he doesn't want me to commentate on him, he's getting all the attention right now because he's the only man at risk and the only man on track. Seems like he's backed out of this completely, has he? Can technically slow down, recharge and have another lap if he thinks that this one's not good enough. But he does have that DRS on, so that means he's pushing down the insanely long straight into the complicated double chicane. So easy to mess up through that section. That then messes up the run up this straight. And Afmagozi decides that's enough qualifying for tonight. He comes into the pits. And those will be your 3 eliminated drivers. Unless Afmagozi can get into the pits, change tyres quickly, and get out there in the next minute and a half. I think that will probably be your final standings in Q2. And as I say that, Ampun decides to give us a little bit of entertainment. Comes out on track just so we have someone out on track. Hello Steffi, welcome to the comment section. Welcome Shane also to the comment section. I see you're obviously sitting in the pits, you've got time on your hands to be in the comment section. I don't expect to see much of you in the race. I'm putting on a very slow outlap. And I was right, Afmagozi did make a quick change of tyres. And he's on an outlap yet again, trying to get himself into Q2. Just over 2 minutes remain. This will be his final attempt. As things stand, 4 drivers remain in Q2. That is Pantry-Star in second, Pompun in 6th, MJ in 10th, Apmagozi in 11th. Everyone else has retired from Q2 and cannot improve from their current position. Pompun looking to improve on that 6th place. No need really, unless you really just want to give that fast lap in Q3 as much practice as possible. Just some bragging rights. Currently at 33.6. Pole position, a 32.5. Difference between 1st and 6th, 1.1 seconds. Just doesn't seem right. I'm sure we'll see these times get a lot closer in Q3. Welcome also to the comment section, Heno. Not racing tonight. He is the lucky recipient of Eskom's attention, or lack thereof. Pompon did improve. Talking of the bragging rights, I said he'd need to improve by 1.1 seconds. He did better than that. He improved by 1.2 seconds and goes fastest for now in Q2, 132.4. And how much more will we see these times dip by the end of Q3? Are we looking at a 31? I thought Apmagozi was going to go for it one more time, but he's definitely in the pit entry, so no one else on track, no one else can improve. That will be your results for Q2. Pompon so far, provisional pole 32.5, Shane in second 32.6. And there we go, there are your final results for Q2. Pompon first, 132.4, very nicely done. Shane, 132.5, just a tenth of a second between the top two drivers. Then Pantry Star, the winner from the last round, 132.9. Top Gun in fourth, Destroyer fifth, RZDV sixth, Rotor seventh, Wezo eighth, Staffy ninth, and MJ squeezing himself into the top 10. Three drivers eliminated: Apmakosi, Nostromo, and Venom. And welcome back to the shortest part of qualifying and the most important part of qualifying. Q3, just 12 minutes on the clock. And this is the one that really counts. Coming first in Q1 and Q2. It's great for bragging rights and definitely gets you into the next qualifying session, but this is where getting first really counts. Means you're going to start from pole position. Top Gun already out on circuit doing his first out lap, installation lap. He was one of your podium finishers in the last round in Hungary. He finished third for Alpine. Looking for another strong performance tonight. Wezo, Pantry Star and MJ remain in the pits for the time being. Pompon out on circuit, Destroyer, Staffy, Shane, RZDV, Rotor and MJ. 9 drivers of the 10 available, all out on circuit. Important to get that first lap time. Don't want to leave it down to one run. Especially around here, a new circuit, so easy to make a mistake. So no lap times just yet. All 10 drivers now are on an out lap, so the track is full. So far in Season 7, Red Bull leads the Constructors' Championship with 83 points. But it's a very tight battle between the top 3 at the moment. Even the top 4, really close. Red Bull leads the championship with 83. McLaren second on 78. Alfa Romeo with 76. And then Alpine with 72. So your top 4 teams in the Constructors' Championship separated by 11 points. Six drivers already on their fast lap as we speak. Timing screens are going to become a lot more populated in a few moments from now. Pantry Star, and as I say that, Pantry Star starts fast laps. So it's just MJ on an out lap. Everyone now on fast laps. MJ is going to be the first man over the line, so let's drive on board with him as he goes into that tricky double chicane. I'll name it eventually. Top Gun will be the first man over the line, goes through that left-hander just before the start-finish line, and let's see what he comes up with, a 132.9. Really nicely done. Next car over the line is going to be a Red Bull. It's Shane. It's a 132.6. He's followed by Staffy, who goes into third with a 136.4. Destroyer slots himself in to third place, 133.1. Let's ride with your race winner from the last round, currently in 9th. He's on his way to set his first timed lap of Q3. DRS Wezo has retired from the session, so we missed what happened there. Either he wants to start in 10th place, or he had a misfortune out there in Q3. Pantry Star goes 5th, 133.8. We're awaiting lap times from Pampun, who did not set a lap time on that fast lap, so I'm going to presume he invalidated that because he started back into the pits without setting a lap time. Obviously Wezo, as things stand, he will start in 10th place. And now MJ in the second Red Bull goes over the line to start his first time lap of Q3. Good evening to Dan Rietveld as well. Starting from the back should be fun. I think it's probably one of the safer places to start on a brand new circuit. Hope we don't see any pile-ups, but lap 1 could be interesting. With a lot of drivers having done most of their practice in a time trial setup, it's going to be interesting what the first few laps look like when these guys are coming to terms with full tanks of fuel. Another thing that will be interesting is obviously strategies. He's going to do what? No previous history on this circuit, so it's really just free game. MJ still waiting for that first time from MJ. He's in the second Red Bull. His teammate is on provisional pole position with a 132.6. And MJ goes over the line and slots himself into 8th place. It's a 134.1. And you can actually be quite confident in that time. There's difference between 8th and 6th, 3/10 of a second. Actually. Staffy on his way into the pits, and MJ on an in-lap. Everyone else stationary for now in the pits. We go and we're back. Sorry for the radio silence. Nothing really happening out on circuit. Just MJ, who's on his way back to the pits, and everybody else sitting in the pit lane. It's a really long circuit, really wide circuit, so I don't think we should have too much traffic issues at the end of Q3, but it seems like everybody's leaving that last run really late. There we go, Shane coming out of the pits, as is an Aston Martin. We know Staffy has now left Q3, so that can only be Pantry Star, who's looking to improve on that 133.8, currently in 6th place. We were riding on board there for a second with Shane. He's on a very slow outlap, probably trying to preserve those soft tires as much as possible, not take too much out of them on that outlap, so you can really maximize the lap time. Such long straights here, so important to have good grip through the few slow corners that do exist. So you really got to look after those softs. Pantry Star on an outlap, as is Rota on an outlap. Shane's gearbox there sounding very sick. Destroyer RZDV also on outlaps. Pantry Star, first man over the line now to start what I believe will be his final run. We can't see the timing screen because we have a big caution in Sector 3. So as soon as I know how much time is left in the session, I'll let you know. Pantry Star was the first man over the line, so he's going to be the first man that we'll see if he can improve. He can obviously jump his teammate by finding just a 1/10 of a second. Can get himself into a top 3 if he can find himself 7/10 of a second. It's all to play for. A lot of time to find on this track. Here we go, we do have a bit of traffic, but everyone getting out of the way effectively. He's going to come on the back of an Alpine here, but it might actually work to his advantage because he's going to get a bit of a slipstream. Alpine helping out Aston Martin with a great slipstream over the line. And Pantry Star does improve. He goes to second place. Don't know if that slipstream helped him out, but surely it did. Good enough for second, a 132.8. Now we ride with Shane. Currently provisional pole position. He's on his final run and he'll be the next man over the line if I'm not mistaken. He had a very slow outlap, came out almost together with Pantry Star, but now almost 30 or 40 seconds behind the man. So took that outlap very seriously. See if he can improve. Currently a 132.6, he's going to go over the line in the next few seconds. He does improve, 132 flat. And the chances of seeing a 131 tonight get smaller by the lap. But that's as close to a 131 as we may get. It's a 132.0. 8/10 of a second between first and second. And who else is still going to challenge? We have Destroyer on a fast lap. Next man over the line will be Pampun, and he's just gone over the line and he's lost out by 1/10 of a second. 132.1. So much room for error on this track that a 1/10 of a second could really be anything. But there we go, Destroyer goes up into fourth. Now the only man we're waiting to see if he can still improve on his lap time is RZDV. Goes into that final corner and we'll see he's currently got a 133.2 and he stays at a 133.2. So that will be your final Q3 result. As we see Pantry Star now coming into the pits. And as soon as that car parks up, that'll be the end of qualifying. I'm going to take a 30-second breather and I'll be back with you at the start of the race. And there we have it. Your final qualifying results in Q3. Shane takes pole position with a 132.0, Pampun in second, 132.1, Pantry in third, 132.8. Then we've got Destroyer fourth, Top Gun fifth, Rotor sixth, RZDV in seventh, Staffy in eighth, MJ ninth, and then Wezo did not set a lap time. He will be starting from 10th. Thanks for that, Staffy. Just before the start of the race, no formation lap, so we're going to be getting straight into the action. Guys, now just finalizing their setups. Obviously, not much you can change on that setup because of Park Firm A, but there are still one or two things you can adjust if you feel the need to do so. And then obviously, what tire are you going to start on? What is your strategy going to be? And how many pit stops? Another thing to remember at the start of a race is, do you under fuel or not? There we go. 3, 4, 5, 5 red lights and we're underway. It's Red Bull versus McLaren on the front row. Who gets the better pull-off? It's Shane. He's going to be the first one into turn 1. McLaren stays second, Aston Martin third, so the positions stay in the top 4. Alpine's now 5th and 6th. Wezo in 7th. He's made up 3 positions at the start. Staffy in 8th. J-Boy 9th. We have Jarvis in 10th. Venom 11th. 2 reserve drivers in the Ferraris tonight. MJ 12th. He slipped down the position. And oh, we have a big accident. Terror going sideways into the wall. That's not what you want to see. He finds himself sideways on the track. I won't be surprised if that is the first safety car of the night. This car was in quite a awkward position. And there we go, confirmation safety car. And we have a safety car on lap 1 of Las Vegas. You've got to say, it's not that surprising. Brand new circuit. 16 drivers on track. Somebody's going to make a mistake. So we had an action-packed few corners. And now it's time to take a breather again. Obviously, we did have a few position changes at the start of the race. It is just lap 1 under safety car. But the top 4 maintained positions. That is Shane, Pompoon, Pantry Star and Destroyer. Rota in 5th place. He made up a position. He got past his teammate. So Top Gun, he's lost 1. Then Wezo, he was a great starter. Made up 3 positions at the start. Staffy's maintained his 8th place. Biggest 2 winners at the start. In 9th and 10th. Jarvis and Dan Rietveld, they've both made up 6 positions at the start of the race. Biggest loser at the start, that goes to the Mercedes-Benz of RZDV. He's lost 5 positions at the start of the race. He isn't the biggest loser, I stand corrected. We'll get to him next. MJ, the biggest loser at the start of the race. He's lost 6 positions. Would have been happy to have been in Q3. Now finds himself at the back of the field, but the important thing is safety car conditions. Those 2 cars at the back of the field are going to be able to catch up to the back of this queue. Everyone's going to get compressed once again and then released. And if this happens every couple of laps, I think we're going to see a field that can't really get away from each other. And with the sort of straights we have here, I think DRS trains, if they happen, they could be very interesting. Obviously all the viewers were drivers because the comment section has gone dead quiet. Just waiting now for MJ to catch the back of that queue, and he's not far away from it. But I think we'll probably see one more lap under the safety car. Doesn't seem like the safety car is coming in, those lights staying on. So we'll probably get one more lap behind the safety car because the queue has formed. The queue has formed, all cars are together, so I think at the end of this next lap we will be underway yet again. Very long circuit, so if you're spending a bit of time behind the safety car, hopefully you underfield a bit. One thing we haven't looked at so far is who's starting on what tyre. Almost a completely equal split between mediums and hards. Your top 3 on mediums, the next 3 are on hards. Just the one driver, and that's Terra in the Ferrari. He chose to start the race on a set of softs, so I think he's going to have a fantastic grip advantage in these first few laps, but the question is how long until those tyres begin to drop off. And then that car might start to feel somewhat different. For the time being, we follow the safety car. Personally, I hate spending time behind the safety car. It seems to be my most popular way of getting damage, is when I'm driving around slowly. Let's see if we get any confirmation on the safety car coming in. We're going around that chicane complex, and there we go, confirmation safety car in this lap. That's what we wanted to see. We can get the action back underway. As soon as that safety car comes into the pit lane, your leader, the Red Bull, becomes effectively the safety car. You can't go until he does, and when he does, make sure you don't pass him before the start finish line. And he gets a little bit of a jump there on Pampun, already a 0.8 of a second gap into turn 1. Very nice restart. Pampun remains second. Pantry Star has made up a position. He's up into third. Rota fourth. Destroyer fifth. Staffy still in sixth. And Terra making up more positions. He's up into seventh. That Ferrari on its way up the field. Thought about going for Staffy on the inside. Thought better of it. And now we have a full caution yet again. Safety car surely to be announced. Not sure why it is, but it seems like I'm getting the safety car notification late, because we can already see a queue forming, and then we get the message much later. But virtual safety car, so at least not a full scale safety car, and hopefully we can get things underway as quickly as possible. That was Nostromo for Williams. He's the man at the back of the field, so I presume he was the one with the issue. But we're back at racing speed, back to green light, and the order remains the same in the top three. Shane from Pampun from Pantry, and Terra makes up another position. He's up into sixth place. Those soft tyres working wonders at the start of the race. But again, how long can they last? Shane now sets the fastest lap of the race. That might be the first proper timed lap of the race, so take it as a pinch of salt. And we have a retirement at one of the Alpines. Similar incident to that which we saw in the beginning of the race, with the Ferrari of Venom really just sideways in the wall. Nothing he could do. And the safety car has been released for the second time. So on lap 5 of the Las Vegas Grand Prix here at JPR, we have had 2 safety cars and 1 virtual safety car in just 5 laps. There you go, Heno. See Heno in the comment section. Thanks for being with us. See, you've got quite the super sub in there for you. Terra currently in 5th place. Started all the way at the back, doing a fantastic job. Top 4 has remained completely stable throughout the race. 1st, 2nd, 3rd and 4th. No position change between those 4 cars. Terra now up to 5th. He has made up 10 positions. Some of the drivers now choosing to make their pit stops, and this is getting Terra even further up the grid. So he's now in 4th place with what will be a relatively fresh set of softs when you consider the amount of time we've been behind the safety car in these 6 laps. So Ferrari in 4th place could definitely give the top 3 a bit of a headache in the next couple of laps if he manages to switch those soft tyres on early. Oh, is that why you got the super sub? You pay him the big bucks. Well, I've never been paid to any. Does that make me a pay driver? Okay, well, suppose I'm not a pay driver. I don't pay to be here. If you had to pay to be in a league, I can think of one name. Only one name comes to mind, but Heno might know which name I'm speaking of, but telepathy, we both know who we're speaking about. But I'm not going to mention his name here on stream. It might be a bit controversial. Destroyer up to 3rd. So we're having a lot of position changes behind the safety car when it's... That's exactly the one, Heno, that's exactly the one. I didn't even have to say it. That man has built quite the reputation for himself. He's like a myth. No one even really wants to say the name out loud, but everyone knows which driver you're thinking of. Shane still leads. Must be quite frustrating when you're in the front of the race and you've got the potential to pull away, but the safety car is coming out every few laps. You can't get that gap. And especially if you start on the softer tyre. Especially if you start on the softer tyre, the whole point of that first stint of the race is to utilize that extra grip and get yourself up the road. But if the safety car is slowing you down every couple of laps, that's really going to bring the drivers on hards into play later on in the race. As it basically cancels out the effect of having the better tyre if everyone's driving around at the same speed. You're telling me he's a worse cricket player than he is a driver? I find that hard to believe. Well, I've always found him to be an interesting character, so if he's trying to play cricket with a hockey stick, then that might be the case. Now we just need some confirmation that the safety car is in, and as I say it, the safety car confirmation comes up on our screens. We will get underway on lap 7. We've been waiting to get underway, talking rubbish in the commentary section because, well, there's no action on track. We wait for Shane, we wait to see when does he go. He goes now. Gets the jump on Pantry Star. Not as big as last time. Last time the gap was 8 tenths into turn 1. This time it's just 6 tenths. Not as much of a jump as last time. Top 3, Shane, Pantry, Destroyer. Then we've got Jarvis in 4th. Remember, he's on a set of softs, so he's got potential to still come through that top 3. Top Gun in 5th, Staffy 6th. Dan Ritfeld, he started in last place. He's made up 9 positions. He's up into 7th. RZDV getting it sideways. Manages to save it. Thought that was going to be the 3rd car sideways into the wall. But manages to get a hold of it at the last second. Loses just the 1 position. That was to Staffy. But now he just needs to get his head down, stabilize that car and get back on his way. Fantastic pass by Pampun on MJ around the outside. That is something for the highlights reel. Oh, and we've seen contact. We've seen contact. 3 cars involved. But luckily, seems like everyone is underway yet again. No terminal damage. But from what I could see, that was a Williams, a Red Bull, and a Mercedes-Benz involved in that incident. That would have been MJ, Wezo, and RZDV. Hopefully, no one has too much damage. Otherwise, that will send them into the pit shortly. Shane sets the fastest lap, and he's immediately beaten by Terra, 136.4. Terra up into 2nd on that set of softs. 9/10 down the road. And if I'm not mistaken, we're still waiting for DRS to be activated in this race. Atmagozi becomes the 2nd driver to accumulate a penalty in this race. His penalty as a result of speeding in the pit lane. Shane leads from Terra. That gap does come down. It's now just 7/10. As soon as DRS is available, that Ferrari is going to have DRS and a superior tyre. But for how much longer will he have the superior tyre? Because surely that soft is going to begin to fall off. Pantry still in a strong position. Remember, he's on the mediums, so he's going to go a little further on into the race than that Ferrari can. Destroyer down in 4th, but he's on a set of hards. So presumably he's going to go the longest into the race. Now that Ferrari really becoming a handful with the Red Bull. Great action between the two. 2/10 of a second between the two of them. And I don't see DRS being a thing, but slipstream on this track is going to be so powerful. He thought about it and then ducked back behind the Red Bull, deciding still a lot of time in this race. And now DRS is available. Was probably waiting for this. If you have the faster setup, if you have the faster tyre, whatever it is that's making you faster, I think the car in front of you is going to find it almost impossible to defend once we get to that back straight. No one can defend DRS down that back straight. Leaders really close together, just 2/10 of a second in it. And now we enter that long back straight, and let's see. Surely now he can get as close as possible. Really long slipstream before the DRS is even activated, and now surely no chance. Shane goes to the inside. Red Bull goes to the... Ferrari goes to the outside. And easily done. Ferrari's the first one into the chicane. Obviously Terra does have the superior tyre for now, but he's done 9 laps on that tyre, as has Shane. That's now 10 laps, both of them having done 10 laps. One on a set of mediums, one on a set of softs, and I'm not sure if that was contact or if that was a mistake. But Terra making his first mistake of the race, or having his first issue of the race. I don't want to put any blame on that, because honestly I didn't quite see what happened. But Terra, we did see him just slide sideways into the wall, broke off his front wing, and this has caused another safety car. See, this safety car really just cancels out a lot of hard work there at the restart. The top three were almost 9 seconds clear of the next car, and now this safety car will bring everyone together once again. Guys, I hope you underfueled for about 5 laps, because the way things are going, we've probably had more laps under safety car than we've had under race conditions. Just while we're under safety conditions, thanks to everyone who is watching. I've seen a lot of you come in and out again, and if you are watching and you haven't subscribed to the channel, you subscribe to the channel. Every subscription helps. Just lap 11 of 25. We're under full safety car conditions for the 3rd time in this race. And the top 3 into the pits. And this is going to neutralize that race. It's going to be interesting to see now who comes out on what tyre. Sarah getting the biggest disadvantage there in that pit stop, because he had a broken front wing, so he spent a lot of time stopped while Shane and Pantry were able to get on their way. But look at that, he hasn't lost any positions. Terra comes out in 3rd, and he'll be able to catch up to that queue. And now all of a sudden we have a slightly different dynamic in the top 3 when it comes to tyres. Shane and Pantry both on hards. I'm presuming lap 12 of 25, switching to hards means you're going to go to the end of the race. And Terra choosing to get on a set of mediums. He'll, again, with his previous stint, he'll have the fastest tyre out of the top 3 there, but the tyre will drop off before those top 2. Might think the most laps led in a Mercedes-Benz in season 7 of JPR would either be RZDV or Rapmagosi, because those are the 2 Mercedes drivers, but no, I'd say it's the safety car. Top performing Mercedes when it comes to leading laps. Earlier we briefly spoke about the state of the Constructors' Championship. 4 teams separated by just 11 points. Really close stuff in the Constructors' Championship. As far as the Drivers' Championship goes, Shane has got quite the advantage. Shane for Red Bull on 82 points, and he's followed by Not Shumi, who, as you can see by our lineup, is not here today. He's got 48 points, so that lead will get bigger. Then we got Chris in 3rd place on 41 points, and as you can see, he too is not here today. So 2 closest cars to Shane, your championship leader, were not available tonight. Next best, 4th place, RZDV in a Mercedes. He is on track. And this is really a race where you need to hold on right till the end. Even when you think your race is over, it's not over. Another safety car comes out, roll of the dice, and you find yourself on the other side of the grid. Would love to know the fuel situation for some of these guys. A lot of the drivers would have obviously underfueled with the anticipation of one or multiple safety cars. But there will also be drivers who completely forgot about the fuel. And they could be sitting on +2 or 3 by the end of this race. Not ideal to be carrying any extra fuel around a track with so many straights, long straights. So races neutralized the game. Top 3, Shane, Pantry and Jarvis. Ampun and RZDV also find themselves in strong positions at the restart, 4th and 5th. Destroyer, who's held 4th place for most of the race, he's going to be 6th at the restart. Dan Rietveld 7th. He started all the way down the field, saw him retire in Q3. Staffy will restart in 8th. He's going to be followed by the 2 Williams of Nostromo and Wezo. Then in 11th, we have the remaining Alpine of Top Gun. We have MJ in 12th in the second Red Bull. And we have Apmagozi in 13th in the second Mercedes. Important for that Constructors' Championship is constantly getting 2 cars in the points, and at the moment McLaren doing a good job, 4th and 7th, with still a lot of potential in this race to get even higher up the grid. Another team with 2 cars in the top 10 is Williams. They're 9th and 10th. Safety car in the slap. Means we will get underway shortly, and then we will have 10 laps till the end of the race. Shane slowing down, backing up the field as much as he can so that safety car can come in. Safety car is in the pit lane. Now we wait for Shane. When does he go? Same place as last time. Just as you start that left-hander, again about 0.6 of a second into turn 1, so about the same start as last time really. Jarvis in 3rd now on a brand new set of mediums. Bampun in 4th, similar position, same set of mediums, 3 laps old. RZDV, he's got a set of hards, he's in 5th. Now one would think those mediums might start to drop off at the end of the race, and that would give the advantage to the runners on the hards, but the amount of time we've spent behind the safety car might have just extended the life of those mediums by a couple of laps, and you might not get the full benefit of that hard at the end of the race. Bampun 4th, RZDV 5th, Destroyer 6th. That remains exactly the same. Dan Ritfeld 7th, that's where he restarted. As with Staffy in 8th. MJ, good restart after the safety car. He's actually found himself back into the points. He's in 9th place. Wezo 10th, Top Gun 11th, Apmagosi 12th. And Nostromo, not quite sure what happened there, but he had a bad restart. He was in a points paying position and now he finds himself down the road in 13th. Actually a very good night when you look at penalties. We have just Wezo on 3 seconds worth of penalties. We have MJ who's got a 5-second penalty which could have only come from a pit lane infringement. And then we have Staffy who's racked up 6 seconds, and I assume he's probably having one particular problem with one particular corner and he keeps on doing the same thing. Something I've done many times, where all my penalties come from one little section on the track. An update on the top 3 is that Jarvis has made his way past Pantry, and now he begins that chase down of the Red Bull. He does have the superior tyre, he should have the better grip, he should have the advantage. I haven't spent enough time commentating with Jarvis on track, but one thing I do know is that he is fast. I've heard the name multiple times. Tonight we'll see. He's currently trying to chase down Shane. It's 1.1 seconds the gap. It's crucial that Shane keeps that gap over a second to eliminate the use of DRS for the car behind, because we know how dangerous DRS is on this circuit. Sarah sets the fastest lap of the race now with a 1:34.5, and DRS has been enabled. That lead at the front, crucially, just over 1 second, so just outside of DRS. Battle inside of DRS is a battle for third. Pampun chasing down Pantry, gap of 0.6 of a second. Destroyer right on the back there of RZDV. I thought we were just almost going to see contact, but managed to not hit the diffuser of that Mercedes. And we have another retirement, and everyone is slowing down, and I think we have another safety car. There we go. 4th safety car of the night to add to the one virtual safety car. Magosi now picks up a drive-through penalty for speeding in the pit lane. Another problem with these safety cars every few laps is if you're one of the drivers that has racked up a few penalties and the safety car comes out and compresses the field every couple of laps, if you don't really get enough time at the end of the race to extend that gap again, you are going to lose 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 positions, and there's nothing you can do about it. So the top 10 you see on your screens may change when we get to the final standings. Shane taking the, well, I was going to say taking the gamble, but it's not really a gamble. It's actually quite genius. Shane came into the pits under safety car conditions. He came out on a brand new set of softs. Pantry and RZDV also on a brand new set of softs. But surely these three are going to be able to come through the field quite nicely. We saw what Terra was able to do, what Jarvis was able to do earlier on that set of softs. He was able to effortlessly find his way through the field. So now we have Shane, Pantry and RZDV currently 6th, 7th and 8th on a set of softs. All the drivers in front of them, laps are 6 to 8 laps old. So not only do they have the tyre advantage, they also have the tyre wear advantage. One more driver that we haven't mentioned also decided to go into the pits and put on a brand new set of softs. He's down in 10th place, and that's Top Gun in the remaining Alpine. So I think those 4 drivers are definitely 4 drivers to watch. But the question is, the man in first place, Jarvis, he really needs to get a fantastic start and build that lead as much as possible before those 4 drivers on softs start making their way through their field. No indication that the safety car is coming in, so another lap behind the safety car. Hopefully we don't see more safety cars. Safety car comes in this lap and we literally get a 5-lapper to the end. We're waiting for the second of the 2 Mercedes, currently quite far behind that queue. But surely with all these straights and some of these top speeds that we see here, he should catch the back of this queue pretty quickly, and hopefully we'll be underway, giving us 5 laps of action at the end. Really, if it's any shorter than that, it just becomes really difficult on the guys that have penalties. You're not able to build up an efficient gap to cancel out that penalty, and you just have to accept that you're going to lose positions. Still waiting for Apmagozi as we enter, or as we arrive at the middle of Sector 2. Apmagozi is in the middle of Sector 1. Either one of 2 things is going to happen. We're going to go around once more, or the safety car is not going to wait. Should be a big disadvantage to that second Mercedes, but he's not really making that much ground, really. Gap's still 47 seconds, as it was quite a while ago. Now safety car, still no confirmation. I was looking for the confirmation. It usually comes up around about there on that penultimate, the entry to the straight. So we are definitely waiting for that second Mercedes, and we won't get a 5-lap shootout. We'll get a 4-lap shootout. Safety car, barriers, night race. It's giving me Abu Dhabi vibes. I'm not a Mercedes fan, so not nightmares, good memories. Very good memories. At the restart, Jarvis is going to lead the field away. Pompoen is currently 2nd, Destroyer 3rd, Dan Rietveld 4th, so that's a really good day for the McLarens if they're able to hold those positions, 2nd and 4th. Wezo 5th. And then the first of the drivers on that soft, Shane, Pantry, RZDV, 6th, 7th and 8th. Watch out for those 3 cars. We have Staffy, also a new set of mediums. And then Top Gun as well as Apmagozi, who's now joining the back of the field. 5 cars on softs with the potential to make up a lot of ground. Just to give you an update on the penalty situation. No difference. Apmagozi has a drive-through penalty. That must have been speeding in the pit lane. Staffy has the 6 seconds as it was the last time we checked. And Wezo has the 3 seconds as it was the last time we checked. Confirmation of safety car in this lap. Let's go to your leader so we can see what kind of a restart he does have. Jarvis will lead the field away for the first time from the safety car tonight. Red Bull has been doing all the restarts, but now that Red Bull is down in 6th place on a fresh set of tyres, and the Ferrari finds itself at the front. Good restart there by Jarvis, makes no mistake, and he is first one into the corner, and we have a big incident further back. It was a Williams. Seems like everyone is still underway. Nobody is stationary, but we saw lots of carbon fibre, and now an Aston Martin. Aston Martin, that's Staffy, sideways into the wall. And that is one very broken Aston Martin. Staffy will not be happy with that. Difficult race, difficult track, dropping out with 4 laps remaining. But luckily no safety car, otherwise we would have probably had a 1-lap shootout. More action at the end of the race. 16 started, 11 remain, 5 drivers have retired. And as things stand, Jarvis has a advantage of 0.6 of a second over Pampun. Destroyer further 6 seconds back in 3rd place. Dan Rietveld has held on to that 4th place. Pantry Star, he's in 5th. He's made up positions. RZDV in 6th. Shane has dropped down to 7th from 5th. Top Gun, the 4th driver on softs, he's now in 8th place. And Nostromo 9th. Apmagozi, he's in 10th. But he does have that superior tyre. Yeah, I saw that on the stream, Staffy. Really messy restart. There was actually an incident before your incident. You were the first. There was a Williams involved with another car, and then a few moments later saw the Aston Martin going into the wall. Apmagozi picks up a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. Is that the same penalty? Why does it only come up on my screen now? Well, it's switched from a drive-through to a 5-second penalty. Position changes. Your leader, biggest winner, 14 places. Pampun, he's 2nd, which is where he started. Destroyer's in 3rd, he's made up 1 position. Pantry Star 4th, he's lost 1. RZDV in 5th, he's made up 2 positions. Dan Rietveld, also a driver to have done really well tonight. He's picked up 10 positions. Top Gun in 7th, down 2. Nostromo in 8th, up 4. Shane in 9th. Surely he has damage. We focus now on that Red Bull. And unfortunately, I don't know if it's a problem from my side, but there's nothing I can see on the stream wrong with that car. But surely losing an incredible amount of time down the straight here, must be some serious damage. Maybe a rear wing, maybe floor damage, something we can't see on screen. But something not right with that Red Bull. Now RZDV becomes the latest retirement. We drive past him there. And what an end to this race. Luckily the game cutting off the amount of safety cars we can have. Otherwise this race may have ended under safety car. Jarvis still leads, but now that gap 3.5 seconds back to the McLaren driver Pompon, who's coming under pressure from Pantry. This is your closest battle on track at the moment. It's a battle for second place, just 0.5 of a second between the two. Is it going to be a McLaren? Is it going to be an Aston Martin? Seems like Dan Rietveld in the second McLaren is pretty comfortable in 4th place. Now the Aston Martin pulls alongside, and really nothing you can do on that section of the track. If the driver behind you has DRS there's absolutely nothing you can do. And Pantry claims second place. But now Pompon needs to hang on to the back of that Aston Martin until we can get back to Sector 3, so that he can now utilize the full force of his DRS. Might be a good result for the championship. Shane down in 8th place. Just going to pick up a handful of points. And look at that, he goes over the line, fastest lap of the race, 1:33.7. Would you believe me if I said I can't even do that lap in qualifying? Fantastic. This means I'm going to stay in the comms box a little longer than expected. This battle's still raging now. Pantry has to defend from Pompon. It's now time to reverse those tables. The Aston Martin had the advantage on the last lap. The McLaren's going to get the advantage on this lap. And surely the Aston Martin isn't going to be able to protect that position unless he's got all the battery power in the world. And we can see he has none. So here we go. McLaren pulls alongside. Gets in front easily before the corner. And the McLaren now back into second. Now, if anyone watching is familiar with MotoGP, one of the smaller categories called Moto3, the bikes stay really close together throughout the race. And in most cases, you don't want to be in the lead when you start that final lap because of the amount of slipstream the drivers behind you are going to get. You're probably going to get past. And that's exactly what's happened here for Pompon. He's gotten past in that extremely overpowered DRS zone. And he's gotten himself into second place. But now on the final lap, the Aston Martin is going to get that advantage again. So it could very well be that Pompon's not going to be able to hold on to this second place through no fault of his own. But unless he's got a very big handful of battery power, I don't really see how he's going to be able to protect second place down that straight at least. We're finally on lap 25 of 25 of what has been a very eventful race. Jarvis leading at the front. 3.5 seconds clear of this battle. And the Mercedes does defend that position.